Hey Spark kids, hey Sparky, how are you doing? You're doing really great. Oh, that's great to hear. What's been going so well? You're loving having your friend Horatio. He's making your life so much more fun. Oh, Sparky, that's lovely. You play in the park every day. That is so good. So, wow, you're doing really good at being a friend. But you want to do even better. You want to be the best friend in the world. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we've got one more week of our series, haven't we? So maybe we'll find out even more about how to be a good friend today. Let's go. Hello Spark Kids, it's time for our final message of the Best Friends series, and we are going back to the Fabulous Five, and today we're talking about Flora. Flora loved her friends. She loved Superhero Academy. She loved every day of her life. It was so awesome. One day Flora woke up in the morning and she had an idea in her head. It was buzzing around and it was so exciting. She rushed to get her clothes on, ran down the stairs, and grabbed her breakfast tray and went straight to the Fabulous Five's table. Beth was telling them something, but Flora didn't even care. She just interrupted. Guys, she said, we have to play hide and seek tonight in the garden. It would be so much fun. Say you'll be there, say you'll be there, say you'll be there. Okay, the others said, sure. She sat down and had her breakfast, and she kept thinking of new ideas and interrupting everyone to say where they could hide or new rules they could have and how much fun it was going to be. At the end of breakfast, she raced up the stairs and then suddenly realised at the top of the stairs she didn't have her bag. She looked down and Alex was there near the lunch hall. Alex, she yelled, get my bag! Alex looked a bit put out for a moment and then nodded and went and got her bag. So he brought it up to the lesson. In the lesson, they were all getting down to do some group work when a bell rang. Ding, 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 ding. She knew what that meant. It was time to go and face a super baddie. She swooped out of her seat and swooped out the window with the rest of the Fabulous Five, and they swooped to the air until they got to a giant bee. It was so big. It was bigger than a house. It was so huge. Its buzzing was so loud you had to always cover your ears. I'll shoot water at it, Oliver shouted. That'll stop it being able to fly. Then we can tie it up. No, said Flora. That's a silly idea. Everyone, hold my hand. I'll make us invisible and then we can grab its legs and tie it up in the air. No, said Oliver. Honestly, the water will really work. No, said Flora. Do what I say. There wasn't really time for an argument, so Oliver just gave in, and the friends went invisible and tried to tie up the bee's legs, but it was quite awkward and tricky. They finally managed to get it down to the ground, and a scientist came to stop it being so big, because it was actually a normal bee that had grown very big by mistake. They flew back to the classroom, and then they finished up their lesson, and what's her name? Flora was so excited to go and play hide and seek that she rushed, she shoved everything in her bag, she ran to the door and watched her friends come out, except Tommy was taking ages. They needed to play hide and seek. What was he doing? He was spending ages talking to someone and then talking to the teacher and then putting his stuff in. Tommy, she shouted, come on! She ran upstairs, dumped her stuff in the room, then ran outside again and stood in the gardens and waited for her friends. She waited a bit more. Guys? Maybe they were already hiding, she thought, and she started to have a look in some of the hiding places, but they weren't there. They weren't there. They hadn't come out to the garden. Flora was suddenly very sad, very cross. She went back inside to the super school and she marched around looking for her friends. She was going to tell them, why have you abandoned me? What has gone on? But instead she bumped into Rupert the robot. Hello, he said. "Hello," said Flora. "Have you seen the rest of the Fabulous Five? Because they haven't shown up to play with me in the garden." "Oh, really?" said Rupert the robot, and his eyebrows raised. "Yes," said Flora, and his eyebrows raised again, and there was a bit of silence, and Flora had to think about the day. Oh dear. She'd interrupted Beth lots of times at the breakfast table. She'd told Alex what to do and hadn't even said please or thank you. She'd bossed them all around with the giant bee and hadn't listened to Oliver's good idea. She'd shouted at Tommy to hurry up. Oh dear, she thought. She said to Rupert the robot, "Maybe they don't want to play with me anymore." "Don't worry," said Rupert the robot. "They are your friends." "You're right," said Flora. "You're right. I'll just have to say sorry." So she went up the stairs and she knocked on all of her friends' bedroom doors, and they all came out into the corridor. "I'm so sorry for being mean to you all today," said Flora. "I'm sorry, Beth, for interrupting. I'm sorry for shouting at you, Tommy and Alex. I'm sorry, Oliver, for making you do my idea. I know yours was better. I'm really sorry." The others all looked at each other, and then they laughed and gave Flora a big cuddle. "You were a bit mean to us today," they said, "but we know that most of the time you're lovely. Let's go and play hide and seek." And the friends all ran out of the school and ran outside and had the best game of hide and seek ever, finding the best hiding places and the best places to go. Spark Kids, let's just have a look at what Flora learned today in the lesson, which is that friends are kind to friends. Let's read from the Bible in Colossians. It's kind of the same as what we read last week. "Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity." See, being friends isn't just about having fun. Friends are kind to friends. It's about being kind to each other, being nice to each other. When you're being kind, loving, gentle, and patient with your friends, and they are to you too, everything becomes much easier and life is much more fun. So those things we talked about, compassion, that means being kind to each other and understanding when each other are having a hard time. Kindness, putting each other first, looking out for each other. Humility, that means not always thinking that you're right about everything all the time, which I find quite difficult. Or gentleness, not being too harsh or shouty or mean, just being gentle with each other. And patience, that one's tricky too, because it means kind of having to wait for each other when you might be being slow or when you want someone to get an idea quickly. But all these things are the things that make having friends so lovely and so sweet. We need to make sure that we are being lovely friends. And the amazing thing in this verse is we all obviously make mistakes sometimes and don't do all of these things and be all of these things. But it says that we should forgive to each other and then finally, and over all of these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. When we love our friends, even when we don't be kind once or we don't be patient once, the love covers it all so we can be friends together. But let's be great friends. Let's be great friends who make life great, who love each other, who are kind to each other and look after each other. Let's be the friends that God has made us to be. Let's pray. Dear God, please help me to be a kind and loving friend. And please give me lovely friends too. Amen. Whoa, Sparky, we've learned loads about how to be good friends, haven't we? We've got to be good, be kind, be compassionate, be patient, be gentle, all those things. And make sure you have lots of fun as well. That's right, yes. You know, I think Horatio must absolutely love having you as his friend too. I'm making you blush. I don't think we can really tell when you blush. Okay, yeah, we can't tell, sorry Sparky. But Horatio must love having you as his friend, and I think all the Spark Kids friends must love having them as friends too. What do you think? Do you like all the Spark Kids? Oh, what have you got here? Oh, this is the crafty challenge for this week. Oh, this looks super fun. Let me put it on my hand. Okay, so we are going to be making one of these, and these are to help us be good friends, aren't they, Sparky? So what you do, you get one of these, and you're going to make one of these by folding it, and your adults can help you with that. But what you do is choose a colour. So what colour do you want to choose? Green. Okay, so green we go G, R, E, E, And can you see there's some numbers in there? What number do you want, Sparky? 3. Okay, so then we go 1, 2, 3. And then what number do you want now? 8. Okay, so then you can unfold it here, and we will see it says helpful. So under each flap it has one of the things you need to do to be a good friend, and it can remind you to be a good friend. So Sparky, you need to remember to be helpful. How can you be helpful? You can help Horatio to find the best hiding spots in the park. Yeah, that's a great idea. Anyway, Spark Kids, we know you'll have loads of fun making the craft, and we know that you're all such good friends, and let's be great friends together. We'll see you next week. Bye.